And welcome to Sports Shorts, broadcasting live from the L'Auberge Hotel and Casino Studios in downtown Baton Rouge. Joel Davis without Ronnie Rance tonight, but that's okay. We've got a very special guest for you tonight. Mr. Tommy Chrysan, what's happening, buddy?
Oh, what an honor. Okay. Rance's chair must be broke here. He must have broke it last week when he's here. I'm going to get this fixed because usually you're not taller than me, but how the heck are you?
I got the good chair, and I have to sit up taller because he's 6'7". So, you know, we have to level the playing field off.
Right,
I've been
okay.
great, buddy. How about you?
Good, man. Just dog days of summer, a lot of hot weather, and lots of rain, unfortunately. And,
It rains every day.
But we're rolling through it, and as I tell people every day, football gets just a little bit closer.
It's so close you can taste it, and obviously with today starting off the SEC Media Days in Hoover, Alabama, it was a big day for LSU. They were first in the rotation. It's been a while, and it was great. It was great to see them on the first day. A lot of our media members were in Hoover covering it, got to follow a bunch of those guys on NOLA.com, watching you on Twitter. Following people that are in the media are some of the best things you can do because you get instant information. You don't have to be in Hoover. You don't have to be in Alabama to know what's going on. You don't have to wait for the paper tomorrow. Follow them on Twitter. Follow them on Facebook. Follow guys that are in the media online like Mr. Tommy Chrysan and get instant information. And the best part about today was listening to Ed Orgeron tell you who his starting quarterback is going to be in 2017. I love the fact that he came out and said, Danny Etling's our quarterback.
Yeah, he had a lot to say today. I think he was a little nervous when he started. It was 10 years ago when he was last there as a head coach with Ole Miss, and of course got fired 4 months after that. And it's first time in a long time that Les Miles wasn't there representing LSU. But Coach Orgeron handled it, and he went forward. And he's the only first-year coach of the 14 schools at SEC Media Day this year. Now, next year, I think there's going to be more than one.
So there's a light shining on him.
Yeah, so there was a lot of pressure. He was the interim coach. Everybody followed the whole thing. And I like what you said earlier. I mean, if you're a sports fan and you're not on Twitter and Facebook and Snapchat and all that, you're not following sports. I mean, that's just what it has become.
Sure.
I tell people all the time, I don't tweet out a lot, but I gather a lot of info from Twitter. I mean, when I'm getting ready to do the old radio show, man, I'm checking it out and finding out what's the latest stuff on this, that, or the other. And I want to commend all our colleagues who are in Alabama at the event, as well as the thousands of other people that are covering it, because you know what's going on 10 seconds after it happens all day long, regardless of which team you're for. And obviously the LSU fans were all jonesing today.
You could be, like, I'm on the road a lot for my job with Red Zone Fundraising, and this is the time of year where I'm in coach's office, you know, dealing with young men, sending off them their fundraisers, the busiest time of the year for me. I don't need to be by radio. I don't need to be by local radio because, Andrew Lopez is a perfect example on NOLA.com. He's just tweeting out quotes from the entire press conference. Now, obviously, you can be a little bit more sophisticated and go online and probably actually watch the videos and live feeds from it. But I enjoy it. I like to see the quotes. I like to see I'm an instant gratification kind of guy. LSU has a coach that I thought handled himself extremely well today. Listening to his interview, I love the fact that he talked about Danny Etling on Radio Row, talked about, not in his opening press conference, but later with a sit-down, talked about Danny Etling being a competitor, talking about Danny Etling loving the competition, knowing that Ed Orgeron said, this is going to be a position of competition. Danny Etling, you're talking about every guy that's on Narcisse, Lindsey Scott, Justin McMillan, giving them all an opportunity to compete. Well, and Danny Etling stepped up to it.
That's the message you got to give, because you don't want Etling to think, okay, this job's mine.
Right.
You got to make everybody work. Compete, the key word that you say there. Compete, because what you hope the result of that is you get a guy that can move the ball up and down the field, don't make mistakes, and put points on the board.
And I think that Danny Etling can do that. I think you saw glimpses of his ability last year. Now, there were some times where he didn't look very good down the stretch. Could it have been an injury? Could have been some uncomfortableness there in his body? We don't know. But I'll be honest with you, if you're a quarterback and your job is to throw the football and you have anything that's keeping you from doing your job, keeping you from doing something that you've done and you can feel like you can do in your sleep, it's going to affect you not only physically but mentally, and a lot of your confidence will go away when you're struggling through some torpid energy. And that could have been the case.
Well, and we now know he was hurt in fall
Yep.
camp last year in 2016, and he just sucked it up. You got to like that. He wanted to be out there. And then, of course, the minor back procedure after the spring game. He's not 100% yet. You know, it doesn't have to be 100% until September 2nd when they go to Houston to take on BYU. But, you know, he's a fifth-year guy. He's been around. Got a new learning curve there with Matt Canada. So I'm not sold that it's all going to be just hunky-dory. You can't just wave some magic wand. And, you know, I told somebody today down in New Orleans, I said, you know, the number one topic in Baton Rouge sports in the last 60 or 70 years, bar none, it's not even close, is the LSU quarterback position.
It's always been either somebody that you're happy about or you're not happy about.
It's always the number. It's the most talked about thing. If somebody could conduct a poll 365 days a year since the 50s, you know, what's most talked about, back and then you didn't have the internet, so at the barber shop and at the bar room, what was the most
they didn't
talked
have Twitter.
about? Now, it's clear, we know that that's the most talked about thing, and that's not going to change this year. I really don't think so.
I think that LSU fans will be pleasantly surprised. I really believe that if Danny Etling is healthy, after watching him, what he was able to do last year with Ensminger as his coach, I thought he fit very well into this program. I thought he looked the part at times. Obviously, he didn't look the part at times, but who knows? Was he injured? Was he struggling with something? But with Matt Canada in this offense, he's already proven that he can just plug and play. That's kind of what you see in Alabama, plug and play. Now, they've got some great quarterbacks over there, and they're playing very well. But I think that you're going to see a lot of that with LSU now, with Matt Canada in there. You're going to see guys that have ability, like Danny Etling, that he's going to build so much confidence in these guys. They're going to be able to go out and compete and make plays because Canada's going to do the work on the back end for them, and they're going to feel so much more confident going out on the field to play.
There's a lot to that, and I also think that, you know, that Danny Etling or whoever the quarterback's going to be, if something happens to Etling, you know, I know a lot of people don't like the term manage the game. But that's what they got to do. You got to have a Matt Flynn and a Matt Malk who won't, you know, they'll keep it between the lines.
Perfect.
They won't make the big mistake. They're going to get you up and down the field, going to put some points on the board, and lo and behold, both guys won a national championship.
Right.
Danny Etling should have went to court, changed his name to Matt this summer. Okay, I really think that. But, you know, so that's what you got to do. You got Darius Geis, who, if he starts off the season strong, he'll be in the Heisman Trophy talk. He'll be talking about All-Conference and All-American, and we saw what he could do. You know, people forget, but he led the conference in rushing last year, and he averaged 7.6 yards per carry in the Southeastern Conference, okay? So I'm not saying he's going to do that again because they're going to load up for him and make Etling throw the ball, but he's got the opportunity to be an outstanding running back which could carry this LSU team. He's that good, and we saw that last year. The numbers bear out those comments. So I think if Etling can just let Geis be Geis, maybe DJ Shark can show more improvement. Somebody else has got to step up and get the job done. I don't know. Obviously I don't have a prediction yet, but
that's coming.
I'm not going to be on the big win total as maybe some people might think.
And I don't think that you should be. I think that you have to let this play out. My biggest concern on the offense is the wide receivers. You know, after looking at a Jarvis Landry and Odell Beckham, then you go to Doral and you've got some talent on that side of the ball at the wide receiver position, and then all of a sudden you go to the Chark as your main guy. And he is right now. There's a lot of talent there, and there could be some guys show up. But anytime you plug in new receivers and a new quarterback and a new system, there's going to be some problems.
And what I don't like about that is Etling hasn't been throwing.
Right. There's not going to be any
continuity. And usually
continuity.
in June and July, you're out on the field working on that timing, on the out pattern, on the turn in. I mean,
it's all about timing.
You're working on all that timing. You know, when no coaches are around, you're just working it, getting a sense for the other guy.
Maybe game 4 before that happens.
And BYU's gonna be a tough opening opponent. A couple of soft spots in there, although you got to go to Starkville for the third game. Mississippi State not expected to be really good, but
it's on the road.
Well, and LSU's kind of owned that series in the last couple of decades, but all of that will go out the window. If LSU doesn't play well, they can lose to Mississippi State in Starkville because State's going to be a little better than they were last year.
Well,
that'll be
ready
at home.
LSU.
It'll be the conference opener for both. And we'll see. But I think there's a long way to go and a lot of questions to answer about this LSU football team. Also, the offensive line.
Yeah.
You know, who's going to be able to protect Atleen and open holes for Darius Geis and the rest of the running backs. And I know we keep talking about Geis, not trying to leave out Darrell Williams, who's lost a bunch of weight and going to be in better shape. You know, and any of the other guys that are going to end up carrying the football, but it's going to the bell cow is going to be Darius Geis.
You keep mentioning Darius Geis, and you can't say enough about the young man. He is going to be a top 10 draft pick if he stays healthy this year. Does all the things you expect him to do. If he just does what he did last year, and then they're going to, Canada's going to implement some plays with him coming out of the backfield, catching flare patterns, catching screens, and he's going to be dominant in that. He's going to be so good at that. There's going to be so many people that didn't realize this guy not only can run you over, he can run around you. He can make a defensive back miss. He can make a linebacker miss quite easily. And he can make a safety, a very athletic safety miss. And that's what you look like, and that's what you look for in an elite back. He's an elite college back right now that could be a top 10 draft pick next year if everything goes as planned. That means that stays healthy. I mean, look at Fournette. He didn't play half the season, it seemed like, and he still went.
And when he played, he wasn't 100%, obviously.
Right, and he still was very good. Darius Geis is very similar to that. He's not Leonard Fournette as far as a freak athlete, but he is a great running back at the college level. And what I love about him is we're going to get a chance to see him in the passing game this year. And I'm telling you, if you have never seen Darius Geis in the passing game, you're in for a treat.
Yeah, Matt Canada's got to get all this stuff. He got a lot in the spring. He's got to get more in the fall camp. We also found out today that they will report on Sunday, July 30th.
Yep.
First day of practice is Monday, July 31st. No more two-a-days, and that's an NCAA rule. But they'll get going on that Monday the 31st. And there's a lot of work to do because it'll be a scant 30-something days away until they play BYU.
It's around the corner. Ed Ogeron did a tremendous job today during the press conference. I mentioned, go ahead.
Arden Key.
Yeah, I was going to talk about that.
This has been
huge.
A mystery. When he didn't dress out for the A&M game, okay, they were run out on the field and he's in a warm-up suit. And then the bowl thing, and then the personal reasons, and his dad says he's okay. Then they say it's surgery. And all coaches are close to the vest with personnel matters, be it injury or not. But Ed Orgeron has been an out front, give you an answer kind of guy, except when it deals with Arden Key.
What does that tell you, though? I mean, it tells me.
When there's smoke, there's fire. I mean, he's had shoulder surgery. And they know what he can do. He can play outside linebacker. He can play defensive end. He can run. He's a physical specimen. It's not that they got to learn what Arden Key can do, but the question is, will he be able to go do that?
I don't think he'll do it in week 1 or 2. I think that he's way too far away from the game right now.
And here's the thing. Today is Monday, July the 10th. The first practice is 3 weeks away on July 31st. And they're already saying he won't be at that practice. No. This is not like this is Friday and they're going to go, oh, by the way, Monday he's not going to work out. We hope to have him Tuesday.
Right, this 30
is
days away.
Three weeks out from the first practice, and they're telling you he's not going to be ready. So I agree with you. I don't know when he'll be ready. If he plays against BYU, I'll be surprised. If he plays at all this year, I might be surprised. Again, this whole thing's been a mystery for far too long.
What are you thinking? What are you hearing? You got to be, look, you know a lot of people. Just speculate for us. I know people don't like to do it.
The injury is more severe than people have been told.
Is it the injury?
That's a guess.
Or is it him not wanting to play because he's a top 10 draft pick and he doesn't want to get hurt? He doesn't want to be a Leonard Fournette type situation?
I've heard that.
Or is it drugs?
I've heard that come up. I mean, I've
heard
a little bit of everything. It's got to
be something.
And, I don't know if we'll ever find out exactly. But it's like I said, it's a mystery. Ever since he didn't dress out for the A&M game, yet he was in College Station. So if there had been an injury, they wouldn't have taken him to College Station. Okay, so he's not a senior with the last game where you're going to, come along and eat the hamburger. It was a discipline issue, whatever that may have been. Okay, so I don't know. I think the coaching staff is preparing for life without Arden Key. And if they find out on August the 5th or August the 20th that he's going to be part of the team again, they'll go from there.
He's costing himself millions. He really is. Because let me tell you something. There's not an NFL team out there that doesn't have a private investigator finding out what's the deal.
They'll know.
They'll find out.
Arden Key knows, and the NFL knows.
The NFL knows, and we're going to find out.
And Orgeron probably knows.
I think he obviously knows, but I think that I think we are going to know, if not during the season, we're going to find out during the combine, because it's covered and scrutinized so much. These players are so scrutinized that we're going to find out what it was, because this guy is a top 10 pick in the first round. If he was a 4th or 5th rounder, we would probably never find out. But the fact that he is a potential first-round draft pick, you as Tiger fan are going to find out what they've been hiding.
We're going to know the solution to the mystery.
That's exactly right.
The mystery will be solved at some point. We just don't know when, and it could be any of the things we mentioned, and it might be something off the wall that has not been discussed yet. I don't know.
He's Tommy Krysan. I'm Joel Davis. I'm sure it's time for
this chair.
Huh?
This chair, this ranch chair that he broke.
Well, look. Our producer brought you in a new chair.
We got like a backup chair.
That's right.
There's lots of backups here at the Pelican.
That probably came out of your office.
Chair. No,
that's not your chair.
I got a better chair than that.
He's Tommy Krysan. I'm Joel Davis. Ronnie's not here, thank God. Nice to do something a little different. We'll be right back.
This is Brandon Holly, 6'2", former college football player. How many swings will it take him to break through this Storm Force impact window from Relief Windows? Visit us today or call 288-8138.
Appliance Distributors of Louisiana are appliance experts who have been in business for over 35 years. ADL provides worry-free, full-service solutions for the whole home. ADL works with designers, builders, or individual homeowners like me when I was remodeling my home after the Great Flood in August 2016. ADL offers special homeowner discounts, just like the ones the builders get. Go to adlappliances.com and see all the major name brands, or stop by their store, Nicholson Drive in Baton Rouge. ADL services the entire state of Louisiana, so call, log on, or stop by today. Appliance Distributors of Louisiana. BR Mattress Company is the only name you need to know when looking to buy a mattress anywhere in Louisiana. BR Mattress Company is located in the Live Oak Shopping Center on Florida Boulevard between North Foster and Acadian. BR Mattress Company offers all the top name brands at 50 to 75% off retail prices. That's a $5,000 mattress for only $1,500. BR Mattress Company is open 7 days a week, and owner Mitch Kimball and his staff will provide you with laser-like service and a PhD in mattress education. If you want the best night's sleep of your life, go see the experts, Baton Rouge Mattress Company.
Still swinging? Get your Storm Force impact windows from Relief Windows today. Visit our showroom or call 288-8138, 288-8138.
And welcome back to Sports Shorts, broadcasting live here in the LeBares Hotel and Casino Studios without Mr. Ronald Rance, but we do have Mr. Tommy Krysan. I'm Joel Davis, and today is the first day of media day for the SEC. Ed Orgeron took the stand, and Ed mentioned a few things that caught my attention. One of them was what he learned as a head coach. 10 years ago, the failures that he had at Ole Miss. The two things that he wanted to really focus on as being a head coach, to be a good head coach, and some of the things that he did wrong was to treat his assistants with respect. And I started thinking, I was like, geez, well, you didn't do that the first time? And then the second one, because of course you do, you treat all your employees with respect. And number two was to treat your players like they're your sons. He has two boys, and he said, I'm going to treat my players like I treat my two sons. Whatever it is, I'm going to treat them exactly like I treat my two sons. And I started thinking to myself, and I'm like, how did you miss on that the first time? I mean, why wouldn't you do that?
Well, I think all coaches learn from previous experiences, and if you could turn back the hands of time, you do a lot of things different. And I have no problem with the fact that Ed Orgeron recognized some things that he didn't do like he would do with what he knows now. I became good friends with Jerry DiNardo, did some radio work with him after he was done here at LSU, and I know Buddy and I both still have him on radio from time to time. And I remember Jerry telling me over dinner one night, he says, I made a lot of mistakes at LSU, some things that if I could do them differently, I would do them differently. So I don't think it's unique to Ed Orgeron. I think it shows that he's wanting to learn. I think if you find the greatest coaches in the world in any sport, I think they can go back and tell you about something they did way back, or they learned from somebody about what not to do. That's part of the evolution of a coach. So I don't have a problem with that. And I think Ed Orgeron is a better football coach now than he was when he was a head coach at the Ole Miss Rebels. And I don't know what his numbers will be going forward and how that might compare to Ole Miss, but I think that's apples and oranges.
Sure.
It's not a fair comparison. If you're an LSU fan, you got to hope that he learned from his mistakes. I'm sure there's a list of some things he did good that he's still going to do and still going to incorporate into the way he runs everything. And then the thing with the assistant coaches, I think due to social media and the intense media scrutiny of college football programs, we all know assistant coaches now. I mean, you go back to the 80s and even part of the 90s, you didn't know the defensive line coach's name.
Yeah.
You didn't know the defensive back coach's name.
There's stories there.
And you only finally started hearing about coordinators when they started getting a little higher profile, and you had some former head coaches becoming coordinators, and he's an offensive guy, defensive guy. So all of that is involved, in the last couple of decades, which in the world of college football is a short period of time. So I think he probably learned the difference of an assistant coach and a head coach, and the relationship in two directions there, the assistant coach to the head coach and the head coach to the assistant. Coach Orgeron's been there both. He talked today how he has numerous mentors. One of them's Pete Jenkins, we know that. One of them's Pete Carroll of the Seattle Seahawks that he has talked to, and he's not afraid to pick that phone up and say, hey, how would you have handled this? How would you have handled that? And I'm sure there's others he's talked to as well, just like I'm sure there's some young guys that have turned to Ed and say, hey, man, what do you think about this? That's what coaches do. Coaches are always trying to get better. Every day they're trying to get better, and that's how they do it. Learning from colleagues, learning from guys they worked with, learning from guys they coached against. I mean, that's all part of it. So I admire the path that Coach Orgeron has taken, and if you're an LSU fan, you got to hope it leads to wins on a Saturday night, because that's the true test. That's going to be the proof in the pudding.
Speaking about wins on Saturday night, he mentioned how important it is for a head coach at LSU to beat Alabama. Like he pointed that out. It is, to be a successful LSU, you have to beat Alabama. I like the fact that he pointed it out. You have to be. Alabama is the benchmark. Everybody else is number 2 right now, and Alabama is just a machine. I like the fact that he throws it out there. A lot of times he just talks in fluff, and then every now and again he'll surprise you. And beating Alabama, he didn't give a lot of bulletin board material today, which a lot of media people were hoping for. They were hoping to kind of get him and bait him into some certain things. But he did say, Alabama came out of his mouth, got to beat Alabama.
Well, that's not new. There's a lot of people that say Charlie McClendon was fired because he couldn't beat Bear Bryant. Well, there's a lot of people who couldn't beat Bear Bryant, okay? And right now there's a lot of people that can't beat Nick Saban. But they are the kingpins of the Southeastern Conference now. Keep this in mind, Joel. Last season, everybody not named Alabama lost at least 4 football games, and nobody won 10. Nobody won double digits, and everybody lost at least 40. Other 13 schools in the SEC. So not only is that the elephant in the room for LSU, it's for everybody.
Yeah.
Now Auburn had to kick 6, and Ole Miss had a couple of years when they won.
Sure.
And, that stuff's going to happen. But the bottom line is Alabama rules the West, rules the SEC at this point in time. So LSU, as Coach Orgeron said, what I liked about what he said was, we just got to get better.
Yeah.
Okay. That's it. It's like, you remember women's college basketball? UConn beat Mississippi State by like 60 points. And then the next year, Mississippi State beat. They just said, hey, we got to go get better.
That's right.
They lost by 60 points, I want to say, in a tournament game.
And then beat them.
And then the next year, they beat them straight up. How about that? They said, we got to go get better. LSU football, that's the analogy. You just got to go get better and beat Alabama. This year, it's November 4 in Tuscaloosa. It'll probably be at nighttime, primetime, CBS, the whole stuff. Game day will be there. I mean, it's going to be everything unless one of the two teams goes in the tank before, and I don't think that happens to Bama, maybe to LSU. So that's what it is. But as Coach Orgeron said, there's a lot of other good football teams on the schedule, and they can't just make this season all about beating Alabama. It's got to start with BYU, and then when November gets here, then you worry about Bama.
You know, you look at the teams that have beaten Alabama. Look at the quarterback. Even Chad Kelly, even though Chad Kelly is not considered a running quarterback, very athletic and gifted athlete, can sling the football, but could escape and make things happen. Very Brett Favre-ish, just could make things happen in the pocket with very, much like Aaron, oh my gosh, Green Bay. Wow.
Aaron Rodgers.
Something wrong with my brain. Aaron Rodgers can move around just in the pocket and can get some yards with his feet. LSU doesn't have that quarterback. I think that you need, starting. Danny Etling is not that guy. Danny Etling is not going to be the guy that picks up that not just one, but 3 or 4 first downs with his feet. And I think that that's what you have to beat an Alabama defense. They're so good. They're just so talented at every level that one position, the only way to beat them is them to forget about somebody. Like a Jalen Hurts beat LSU last year with all that talent on the field. He's the one that made it happen. I don't think LSU beats Alabama until either Narcisse or someone like that, or Lindsey Scott, someone like that steps up and picks up 2 or 3 first downs in a game with their feet.
Well, it's certainly going to take more than one guy to beat Alabama. It's going to take.
I know, but that one position on top of it.
You have to add that into the equation.
I think it's got to be part of the sauce.
But I mean, when they get to that point in the season, again, that's not to November 4. I mean, a lot can and will happen between now and then. So we'll just have to see how that unfolds. And they do have the open date before Bama, so it'll be a 2-week thing. Which, and I'll bring this up now because it kind of fits, but our colleague Jordy Hultberg has long maintained that the open date should be after the Alabama game, not
so they can recover
it. So that they, don't let Alabama beat them twice, where you're banged up mentally and physically and you go out the next week, you can't get it done.
You lay an egg.
And that's not going to change anytime soon, but I think there's some merit to that. And the fact that LSU hasn't beaten them now in 6 or 7 tries, whatever it is, back to the regular season in 2011, I guess, when they won in Tuscaloosa. So, but again, I don't want to get too caught up in this whole Bama thing right now. Coach Orgeron, I think it's good that he addressed it today. He brought it up. It's a fact, no secret there. But now it's, get this football team ready, answer some questions. BYU, a good BYU team, will be waiting for them in Houston.
We haven't talked much about the defense for LSU. The defense, 7 starters leave that football team. You got 4 left on a very talented. When you lose a Tre'Davious White, Adams, those 2 guys, Beckwith at the linebacker position, we've looked at this team in the past, and we looked at this linebacker situation. Duke Riley even comes to mind, another a great player that stepped up and just came up big last year for LSU. You start looking at that roster, and you think, who are the guys that are going to step in? A lot of people are speculating this guy. I'm waiting for Divinity to step up, the linebacker out of New Orleans, who was one of the best linebackers I saw coming out of high school. And nobody talks about him. And I'm trying to think, is it because he's just not any good? And I'm thinking there's no way that this kid, Michael Divinity, could be a bad football player. I saw him take off Ed Ogeron's son's head in a semifinal football game to go to the Dome. And that's when Lindsey Scott won the championship, beat Michael Divinity in the Dome in his foot. I think it's East Jeff, West Jeff.
It was John Ehret.
John Ehret. I watched that game, and I saw that kid come off the corner and take Ed Ogeron's son's head off. It looked like literally his head came off. And I was like, this guy is going to be the next great linebacker at LSU. And where's he been? Now is the opportunity for this kid to be the kid that I thought he was going to be. What are your thoughts defensively, are there certain players that you kind of spotlight that you think need to step up this year?
Well, Michael Divinity, I saw him play in high school. I did a high school playoff game on the radio when they played at Live Oak. And Brett Beard, good friend of mine, was a coach of the Live Oak Eagles, and he said, Tommy, that's going to be the best player on the football field, bar none, okay? And then I called that game on the radio a couple of years ago, and he was clearly, it was a man with boys. He was the best football player on the field. And this was a state playoff game, and then there were a lot of other good players on both teams too. But he was the best one, I think this is the year, as you said, he's got to step up. He's got to start making plays, take control. He's second year with Dave Aranda. He should be comfortable with that. So I think he's got to be a guy. I think getting Christian Lakatua back, fifth-year guy, smart guy. He's into the Aranda thing, mature. I think he'll be a leader in the huddle, leader on the sideline, leader in the locker room to help some of the younger guys, because the defense, as you said, some big shoes to fill. Okay, some guys that could flat out play football, and some guys took a lot of snaps last year. And the defensive numbers last year were very, very impressive. And if you could somehow take out that hiccup at the end against A&M when they scored a whole bunch of points when the game was really out of hand. You can't take that away, but if you do take that away, this is one of the best defenses in the nation, but a lot of shoes to fill.
Ton of shoes to fill. Dave Aranda's got he's got a lot to deal with this offseason to get it right. I think he will. I think he's a mad scientist when it comes to defense. Did it in Nebraska. He's done it Wisconsin, excuse me. He's done it in places where they didn't have the talent that LSU has. I think he's a plug-and-play defensive coordinator. I think he's going to outsmart a lot of offenses. But the players still have to play. They still have to. They have to execute the plan, and and hopefully they will. And a lot of times, young players take less chances, and so it might even be better for Dave Aranda as these younger guys coming in, just do exactly what they're told. Don't do anything outside of what I'm telling you to do, and you might have a lot of success. And you might have a lot of confidence, and they're going to get better as the season goes on. And I truly believe that. He's Tommy Christ saying I'm Joel Davis. We need to take a quick break. When we get back, we'll continue on our SEC Media's Day with LSU, but we'll also dive into a little New Orleans Saints. Only about 15 days before I think they go to camp on the 26th. I'm pumped. I'm sure you are too. We'll be right back.
When my wife and I started Relief Windows, what we were trying to do, what our goal was to give a quality job to a homeowner. Everybody's scared of contractors. We wanted to change the mold of what that is. Not showing up on time, not answering the phone, somebody running with your money. The reason why you should pick Relief Windows to do your renovation of your home, windows, doors, hardy plank, or siding, is because of the experience, quality service of our company. Service is everything we have. It's the foundation of our company. We're going to show up on time. We're going to do the job right. Over 60% of our customers is customer referral. We're a local company here in Baton Rouge, built in BatonRouge, staying in Baton Rouge. Okay. The job's not done until you're happy and we're happy. It's built the old-fashioned way, with a handshake. Here at Relief Windows is honored to be official window, door, and siding company of LSU Athletics, from one winning team to another.
Attention to detail makes the world go round. At Baker Printing, our approach to the printing business is very simple. Treat it as if it were your own. That's not always an easy job, but it comes from the top down in our company. We thrive on the unique jobs. Bottom line, we take care of our customers' projects as if they were our very own. At Baker Printing, attention to detail makes our world go round.
BR Mattress Company is the only name you need to know when looking to buy a mattress anywhere in Louisiana. BR Mattress Company is located in the Live Oak Shopping Center on Florida Boulevard between North Foster and Acadian. BR Mattress Company offers all the top name brands at 50 to 75% off retail prices. That's a $5,000 mattress for only $1,500. BR Mattress Company is open 7 days a week, and owner Mitch Kimball and his staff will provide you with laser-like service and a PhD in mattress education. If you want the best night's sleep of your life, go see the experts, Baton Rouge Mattress Company. If you're an avid sports fan, then you need to check out the Louisiana Sports Hall of Fame, located in historic downtown Natchitoches, next to the Chateau St. Denis Hotel and the Natchitoches Convention Center. The Louisiana Sports Hall of Fame is where the rich history of Louisiana sports is told through the pictures, artifacts, and by the legends themselves in video archives. Come to the Louisiana Sports Hall of Fame and Northwest Louisiana History Museum and visit a world-renowned architectural marvel. For more information and to purchase tickets to the annual Louisiana Sports Hall of Fame events, visit lasportshall.com/purchase.
Wooden Haven Furniture Company is your furniture destination for timeless designs handcrafted by artisans from around the globe. Wooden Haven Furniture Company has furniture that can change or just accent your world at home. Wooden Haven Furniture Company.
And welcome back to Sports Shorts right here in the LeBaires Hotel and Casino Studios. Tommy Krysan, Joel Davis here to bringing you through the evening on the first day of SEC Media in Hoover, Alabama. Been talking about LSU, been talking about Ed Ogeron, talking about Arden Key. We've been giving it a lot of thought tonight and trying to soak it all up. And during the break, you said, man, we got to talk about the Florida homecoming. I mean, I'm like, wow, how did I even miss that? I mean, of course, I have it in my notes right here, but then I left them in the car. Yeah, I left them in the car. And yeah, Florida.
Well,
that's some good stuff.
Normally, for your homecoming game, you go against each South Central state.
Yeah.
You know, but no, Florida has identified the matchup on October the 7th, I believe it is, with LSU as their homecoming, and then they're going to put some icing on the cake. At halftime, they will recognize the College World Series champion baseball team and present them with their rings.
It's unbelievable.
On top of that, and obviously they beat LSU in the finals of the CWFs up in Omaha. So Florida, I don't know that rivalry needed any gas thrown on the fire, but Florida has dumped like a whole tanker truck of gas onto the fire. Oh no,
I love it. If I was Florida, I'd do the same damn thing. Why not? I mean, it's
their choice.
You've been dominating. You've been the man. So
they beat LSU 4 out of 5 times in baseball.
That's right.
2 when it really mattered for the College World Series title. The football team, that whole snafu, they know LSU has to come down there 2 years in a row due to the debacle last year with the weather interruption. So they're just pouring a little gas on the fire. So, but the answer for LSU is just to go down there and beat them.
Go beat them.
Go beat them. Get better. Go beat them. Yeah.
Use it as
you shouldn't need to be motivated to go play the Florida Gators in Gainesville. If you're LSU, you shouldn't need any additional motivation. Yeah. But Florida has provided that. Like I said, again, I don't think it was needed, but that's going to be part of it, and that's going to be, I mean, you can go back to the LSU students getting Tebow's cell phone number and wearing him out the week of the game, the way he had to go change his number and all that. So, it's
and
the
permanent. And he beat him.
Yeah, it's the permanent opponent. LSU beat him when Jacob Hester went nuts at night.
Oh, that's right.
But, and LSU beat him when they were number 1 here with her.
But I thought LSU lost Tebow when he was getting all that texting that night. And then that was
one night in Baton Rouge they beat him when Hester kept picking up the first downs and all, broke his face mask, all that stuff. But
I just remember Tebow getting in the end zone a few times and looking up in the stands and doing some crazy stuff. And
but anyway, there's enough in the history of this. Obviously, it's the permanent opponent from the East Division for LSU, and it's going to be even more interesting this year.
LSU needs to win that game in a bad way. They need to put the fire out. There's no question. I mean, Florida has got so much to stand up tall about right now versus LSU. Winning the College World Series and beating LSU last year in LSU's house.
Geist went the wrong way. Florida wins.
That was the difference, and he did go the wrong way. There's no question. Geist has got to do a better job this year in Florida. And believe me, he's probably looking for that game too to make a difference because he knows he cost LSU the victory in that ball game. You mentioned weather delays. Greg Sankey, the commissioner of the SEC, now has an opportunity to make a little difference.
They've changed some of the rules and powers of the commissioner's office. Where if you get a weather situation like came up with LSU Florida last year, the commissioner can now come in and make a decision that both teams would have to abide by. Example being, with the situation in Gainesville last year, he could have said, well, let's play the game Monday night, and they'd have had to do it Monday night or Sunday night.
Sure.
Or he could have said, Florida, you need to travel to Baton Rouge to play Sunday night, looking at all the weather forecast. And this could affect a lot of teams in the conference, weather related. And now the commissioner's office will have the power to make prudent decisions in the best interest of both teams if something like that occurs again. And, you got to be about safety to the fans and the student athletes. There's some things in there. And then the other thing is, and this was the rule a lot of people didn't know, and the reason why Florida came here and played and not South Alabama came in the Constitution and bylaws of the Southeastern Conference, you must play all 8 of your conference games to be eligible to go to Atlanta if you qualify for the SEC title game.
Yeah.
So had Florida and LSU not played, Florida would have had 7 conference games. It wouldn't have mattered to LSU. They weren't going to be ahead of Bama. But Florida, who represented the East, would not have been able to go because they didn't play. So that was why that game happened as much as anything else. In the buyout of South Alabama, Florida had to pay off Presbyterian or whoever they were playing, whatever happened there.
It was a mess.
So, and that was one of those little-known rules that I didn't know about. Most people didn't know about until it surfaced. And so that's the other angle now. So that would be more reason why the commissioner going forward is going to have to make a decision. It could involve South Carolina if you got a storm coming in on the coast over there. It could involve Florida, LSU. It
Coastal
could involve
teams.
anybody. But you could have tornado problems in Missouri or
Oklahoma.
something. Or they're not in the SEC yet.
But I would think that they would have the same situations. Wouldn't they over there?
You could have a weather problem that could affect Missouri or whatever.
Does any other conference have? And the reason why I brought up Oklahoma is, does any other conference allow their commissioner to make that same decision, or is this the first time ever with the SEC?
I don't know the answer to that.
Yeah.
So that'd be something I'd have to look up. But
I would
if they
assume
don't have it, they probably have it now. And if one of them had it, maybe that's where the SEC borrowed the lingo or the jargon for it.
It makes so much sense to me. It reminds me of the last hurricane.
Well, that's why rule books are like this, because invariably something will come up that's not clearly covered. There's a little bit of a gray area, so then you gotta
add it.
That's why lawyers have 9,000 books behind them, because they got to go look it up, and rule books for conferences and leagues and even to the high school level, they're always having to say, okay, we gotta clarify that rule, or we gotta add this part to that rule, because things always come up.
Is there anything out of today's conference, Ed Ogeron, Shark, Lockature, Darius Geis, is there anything that they said today that really caught your attention?
Darius Geis' favorite color is pink. He wore a pink suit, but
But he really didn't make a spectacle of himself verbally. He did get some attention with his outfit, but a lot of people were anticipating him saying some things that would be headlines, and that really didn't happen.
These guys were coached up.
Sure, and I thought that's great.
They're coached up. All 42 of the athletes, 3 from each school, have been coached up. Don't say anything stupid. Use your head, think about it. They're going to ask you this, they're going to ask you that, they're going to ask you this. This is how you handle that. If they ask you a question you're not sure of, don't make anything up. Just say I'm not sure and go from there. So that's all part of just being a student athlete now, with the intense media coverage that everybody has, and a lot of that fueled by social media. So I don't expect that now one player out of the 42 might slip up between now and the end of the week. I don't know.
I'm sure somebody will. Somebody's going to say something that. But I'm just glad it wasn't Darius Geis. Ed Ogeron said that Darius Geis is the best running back in the country. Period. No bar none. He is the top football running back in the country.
Well, coaches are always going to speak highly of their own players. That doesn't surprise me.
I think he's being very honest.
There's a lot of good running backs in the country, and Geis is one of them. And we'll see what develops, on Saturdays.
I think that he's the best run, and I'm not putting the purple and gold glasses on. I think he's that good. He's Tommy Christ, and I'm Joel Davis. We're going to take our last break of the show. When we get back, we're going to dive into some New Orleans Saints.
Ooh.
That's
why I wore the black.
That's why I wore the black. We'll be right back with the black and gold.
Does the new year mean new windows, hardy plank, or vinyl siding? Then you need to call Relief Windows for award-winning customer service and years of experience. Looking for quality replacement windows with lifetime warranties? Trust Relief Windows. Call us or come walk through our showroom and get a free consultation with one of our many window experts. Relief Windows is a proud partner of LSU Athletics. Come see us today or call 288-8138. 288-8138.
Appliance Distributors of Louisiana are appliance experts who have been in business for over 35 years. ADL provides worry-free, full-service solutions for the whole home. ADL works with designers, builders, or individual homeowners like me when I was remodeling my home after the Great Flood in August 2016. ADL offers special homeowner discounts, just like the ones the builders get. Go to ADLappliances.com and see all the major name brands, or stop by their store on Nicholson Drive in Baton Rouge. ADL services the entire state of Louisiana, so call, log on, or stop by today. Appliance Distributors of Louisiana.
Attention to detail makes the world go round. At Baker Printing, our approach to the printing business is very simple. Treat it as if it were your own. That's not always an easy job, but it comes from the top down in our company. We thrive on the unique jobs. Bottom line, we take care of our customers' projects as if they were our very own. At Baker Printing, attention to detail makes our world go round.
BR Mattress Company is the only name you need to know when looking to buy a mattress anywhere in Louisiana. BR Mattress Company is located in the Live Oak Shopping Center on Florida Boulevard between North Foster and Acadian. BR Mattress Company offers all the top name brands at 50 to 75% off retail prices. That's a $5,000 mattress for only $1,500. BR Mattress Company is open 7 days a week, and owner Mitch Kimball and his staff will provide you with laser-like service and a PhD in mattress education. If you want the best night's sleep of your life, go see the experts, Baton Rouge Mattress Company.
And welcome back to the show, Sports Shorts, right here in the LeBarge Hotel and Casino Studios. Joel Davis alongside Mr. Tommy Krysan. We went to break. We talked about LSU, the SEC Media Days, and let's talk about what I really like to talk about, and that's the black and gold down in New Orleans. And coming off of 2 straight 7-9 seasons, not too great for Sean Payton and the rest of the fan base and the players. I'll be honest with you, man. I'm excited about the season, but I have zero expectations of this team even making the playoffs. I think that there's still too many holes on this team. I think that after losing Teron Armstead to injury, I think they're losing Nick Fairley to a heart condition for the season, 2 major players on this team that were going to make them better. They were going to make this a very good football team, or at least a competitive team. Just losing those 2 guys, we're not talking about losing backups. We're talking about losing key components, a left tackle, the guy that protects your Hall of Fame quarterback. Now you got to find a guy. You got to go get a guy. We're going to move a guy. I'm not really expecting much from this football team this year.
Yeah, I don't either, especially losing those 2 guys. And here's something that caught my attention last week. There was a thing on CBSSports.com of the 5 NFL breakout teams that weren't in the playoffs last year that might make the playoffs this year, because the previous year 5 new teams got into the playoffs. Right. So they said, okay, if that happens again, what 5 will it be? Sadly for New Orleans Saints fans, not only were they not in that 5, but Tampa and Carolina were. We already know the Falcons are going to be very good again. So that columnist thinks the Saints are last in the division again.
I don't disagree with it.
And 3 straight 7-9 seasons might be 4 straight, or it might be worse. I like the addition of Adrian Peterson, but here's my take on that. We know what he's done. We know he's going to be a Hall of Famer, but what can he do this year for the Saints? Can he be productive? Can he help this team win football games? If you're a Saints fan, you better hope so. So, unfortunately, LSU fans and Saints fans, it may be a long fall.
I think that it's going to be a very long fall. Usually you have a feeling going into the season, some expectations, some excitement. I'm excited for football season more than I am for LSU season and for the Saints season, even though I'm a fan of both and I want them both to do well. I'm not getting my hopes up. Last year I really thought the Saints were going to make some strides, and they didn't. There's so much talent on that team, but there's just so many holes. Same thing. Now, this draft class that they have this year, if this draft class is anything like they had in 2006. And it could be. You don't know. With Lattimore and Marcus Williams, Trey Hendrickson, the defensive end, can he be a player? Is he that defensive end, the diamond in the rough that they've been looking for? There's some players there that if they turn out, if they can get 3 starters out of this draft, and that's what it's going to take. If they can get 3 solid starters out of this draft, maybe the offensive lineman in the first round, Ramczyk is going to be a starter, and he has to be, but is he healthy? They went and got guys that have injury issues, and talk about that. Tommy, Anzalone. Anzalone's healthy now, but he hasn't been healthy in college. Ramczyk, got him in the first round. It's a great value pick at that point, but he's got a hip issue that could get better, could be a 5% issue for the rest of his career. I mean, if those things check out, the Saints have horrible issues with injuries. It seems like more than any other team in the league.
They've got a lot of question marks that have to be answered. They got to have some guys step up. Sheldon Rankins, you missed a lot of the season last year. He's
first round draft
with Farley being gone, he's got to step it up. They hit on the wide receiver Michael Thomas. He looks to be an outstanding player. They got to hit on some of the guys this year, as you said. They got to get some starters out of that draft class. Maybe mix in a free agent guy here or there, and with the loss of Armstead at tackle and Fairley. Maybe there's some deals done in August during the exhibition season where they're trying to bring in some key veteran guys if they can. What do they have to give to them? Again, 3 straight 7-9 seasons. We know the Falcons are going to be good again. Carolina and Tampa.
Will Atlanta take a step back with the loss of Kyle Shanahan, the offensive coordinator? I mean, that's going to be a big deal.
Matt Ryan's pretty good.
Matt Ryan is unbelievable. But last year,
they got a lot of talent on that football
Tommy, last year they were unstoppable. They weren't unstoppable the year before. But for some reason, there was that one year where everything seemed to be working, and Kyle Shanahan was a big part of that.
I think they'll be the preseason pick to win the NFC South.
I agree.
There's a lot of questions about Cam Newton. He had shoulder surgery in the offseason on his throwing shoulder.
Has he regressed?
They don't know if he's going to be like he was in 2015 when he was an MVP leading them to the Super Bowl, or is he going to be bad again? A lot of people really high on Jameis Winston.
Threw a lot of interceptions last year.
They put a lot of people on the Tampa Bay roster. There's a lot of talented people. They've done a good job of building that. And then you have the Saints. So, right now they're 4th in the NFC South. And probably when all those predictions come out next month, they're going to be 4th, or 3rd. They're not going to be 2nd or 1st. Right. Forget it. So a lot of work to be done by the Saints. And again, I don't want to be the doomsayer here in the middle of July, but LSU fans and Saints fans, it might not be the best football season you've seen.
You know what? I started thinking about this last year, and I don't remember what week it was, and I started thinking about, Tom Brady's great. Tom Brady's so good. He's pretty good, yeah. He's pretty good. But and Bill Belichick, he's pretty good, right?
Pretty good.
But think about that division. Think about that division that he has to go up against. What other quarterbacks are in that division?
They're on top. They've got a stranglehold on that. With all respect to Ted Nugent, they got a stranglehold on it, and that's what I don't see.
That's because there's no competition in the division.
Well, but they're that step much better than people too.
Look, you put the Saints in that division. Saints probably win 4 more division titles over the same span. I'm just telling you.
Not if New England's in there.
Look at the NFC South.
Not if New England's in there.
No. You take New England out. Yeah, swap places.
And look what the Saints. If a frog had wings, he wouldn't bump his butt.
You remember when the Saints were in the
Ronnie
NFC West?
warned me about you.
I know. You remember when the Saints were in the NFC West?
Yeah, I remember.
And they had to deal with Joe Montana, Steve Young, and you had to deal with that week in and week out. Even when you had a great Saints team with Bobby Hebert and the Dome Patrol. And even when Jim Everett was with the LA Rams, they had a good team over there. There was in Atlanta. Even gave the
Saints Falcons, that's a whole other story.
But now that you're in the NFC South, it's like you got Jameis Winston, up and coming quarterback, Cam Newton, who's been very good over the last 4 years, and you got Matt Ryan, who's 30 and really
one of the best quarterbacks in the league.
He's what Drew Brees was right when Drew Brees won his Super Bowl, and he's at his peak.
And again, if Adrian Peterson can be productive, then
how many times is he going to fumble this year, Tommy?
Well, he's not known for fumbling.
Well, he's a fumbleiah.
No.
Do you all remember the NFC Championship game, the Saints versus Adrian Peterson? Between Adrian Peterson and Brett Favre, That's why the Saints won the Super Bowl.
No, the Saints won because of defense.
No, because they stripped Adrian Peterson 4 times.
The Saints
Adrian Peterson fumbled in that game 3 times.
They ever had that year.
Google it. Adrian Peterson.
Oh,
Google.
Twitter. Look for it on Twitter.
Adrian Peterson is the fumblest. I'm telling you, he's a fumbler, and that's the one thing that's his only knock on him. Well, he's not a great receiver out of the backfield, but it doesn't matter how good of a running back he is.
He's a Hall of Famer.
No doubt. But he is a fumbler.
No, you're confusing him with.
Google it.
Somebody.
Google it. Anybody Google it.
You're confusing him with some other running back.
Okay. You're going to leave here and you're like, oh, wow, Joel was right for once.
No, I'm not going to do that.
For once.
I'm not going to do that. I was warned about you by Rance.
What did he say? What did he say?
He said Joel will say anything. Be ready.
I will say anything, but that is the truth.
You stick any toothpicks in your foot lately?
You remember that?
You'll say, I'm prepared. You see?
Well, he's talking about the time I left Frank's restaurant and I'm walking to the car with my daughter and somehow I step on a toothpick that's stuck in the grass. The toothpick goes through my shoe and halfway through my foot.
Only Joel Davis, ladies and gentlemen.
Talk about the hepatitis C there, huh? Who wants that? Look what he's got in his mouth. That's what went into my foot.
Okay,
it's disgusting.
That's good.
All right.
Okay, we missed Ronnie.
We miss Ronnie.
Is he gonna be back next week?
Yes, he's gonna be. He'll be back next week. I'll probably be gone. They'll probably get rid of me.
No, it's been fun.
I'm gonna go ahead and predict.
Oh, here we go. July 10th.
A July 10th prediction. My July 10th prediction: the New Orleans Saints will not start out 0-4. They will not start out 0-4, even though they're very much known to do that. They're going to start out 0-3. They're going to start out 0-3, and they'll win one of their first 4.
We keep copies of this stuff, Okay.
I tell you what, it may not be 0-3. It's going to be 1-3.
Okay.
They're going to start out the season. Would you like to? You got 40 seconds.
No, I'm not making a prediction in July.
All right.
I'll predict that Rance is back next week.
He's supposed to be back next week. He's supposed to be back this week, but then he got a golf tournament. He has a big job now. He's
the Sports Hall of Fame.
Sports Hall of Fame.
I saw some of the pictures on social media.
2 weeks, the guy had a golf tournament. 2 weeks, rained out. Thank you, Louisiana. You do a great job with your win. He's Tommy Krysan. I'm Joel Davis. We want to thank Curbside for being a part of our radio show. We also want to call it Calandro's. We want to thank the Ice House Bar and Grill. We also want to thank, of course, Little Bears Hotel and Casinos. We couldn't do it without our sponsors.
Thank you. I had a lot of fun.
I did too. Check him out on Twitter, Tommy Krysan, the real Tommy Krysan. You want to check that? And me, JD Sports 04. We'll be see you next week.
Does the new year mean new windows, hardy plank, or vinyl siding? Then you need to call Relief Windows for award-winning customer service and years of experience. Looking for quality replacement windows with lifetime warranties? Trust Relief Windows. Call us or come walk through our showroom and get a free consultation with one of our many window experts. Relief Windows is a proud partner of LSU Athletics. Come see us today or call 288-8138. 288-8138.